Guys, so you can see him, the man right there, the man, the myth, the legend. Turner's with us. Turner, how you feeling, buddy?
Dude, I'm feeling like I didn't win 750K, but I feel like $1,000,000. I'm on the winner circle. This is super exciting. I have a ton of respect for both you, Derrick, and Cody. I started watching Big Brother back in 2019. I backdated to your season, Derrick, and Cody. I am a huge fan, so I am very happy to be here.
Well, let me cut in
Hit him,
first.
Cody.
Let me just ask you this question first, Turner. What's my last name?
I have a lot of trouble between California, cauliflower, and I still don't know how to pronounce California.
Well, okay, I'll give it to you because
right?
my last name technically does mean cauliflower, but it's Califury.
Oh, well, that is even more badass than cauliflower. Califury.
Califury.
I love it, and I will just call you Cody.
All right, I appreciate that. I'd rather that there.
So we're going to dive into questions. We know we only have you for a couple minutes. I got the first question for you, Turner,
Yep.
okay? And these are questions that were actually brought up by the people in the chat room. They wanted to ask you these questions, so we're just relaying the message from them to you. It was an 8-1 vote tonight. You were the sole vote for Monty, and you said right while you were up there, hey, I literally just kind of decided right now on who I was going to vote for. What was that decision-making process like? What ultimately made you vote for Monty over Taylor when it seems like everybody else in the jury kind of had their mind made up? What made you go the other way?
So that jury roundtable, it seems like when they all decided that obviously I was not a part of, but in the commercial break, I was like, where are you guys voting? And they were like, I don't know if we can tell you. So I was like, oh my God, great. So I voted to not be on the wrong side of the vote. So I was not a bitter jury member. And I did the exact opposite thing that I should have. And was like, I didn't vote against Taylor. I just didn't want to be on the wrong side of the vote. And look where I ended up. So
you thought it was going to be Monty?
Yeah.
Yes. I thought it'd be Monty because I was like, in other seasons, it seems like the person who wins is the one who won the most comps, and a lot of people love Monty. So I was like, I don't know, it just makes sense. And I'm not even mad at Monty. I don't really he did what he thought he had to do. I can't be mad at him. So I was like, all right, I think Monty will win. Let's not be on the wrong side of the vote. I'll vote for Monty.
So
interesting.
I mean, we had a second question, but I kind of want to go based off of that because I feel like it's a little more interesting. Do you think that Taylor's speeches and the way that Taylor answered her questions and like the elegance that she spoke with in that final speech that wrapped it all up swayed people, or do you think that people had that predetermined to vote for Taylor?
I heard from the roundtable, or not from the roundtable. I heard from commercial breaks and all of that they all decided at the round table. And so I think, as you guys both know, like when you're making your speech before people go in the DR, 99% of the time they know exactly what they're going to do. So I think that they knew what they were going to do going into it. And I think Taylor spoke every time Taylor speaks. She has the most elegance in the world, and she's an amazing person. So I was never voting against her. I was just like, oh, well, I don't know. I've been boys with Monty. Like, me and him have been closer throughout the season. Everything added up for me to think Monty was probably going to win, but he didn't. And I am by no means like, Taylor or Monty. I love them both. Whoever wins, like, it's not me. So, I like them both. So who cares? But, with peace and love.
So you heard it here first. It was predetermined. Taylor got to the final two. She was winning Big Brother 24. I did not expect that. Good job with the editing for Big Brother. Code, did you want to still hit your second question there?
Well, so the other question was, Turner, did you ever have a thought or any conversations with Taylor to take her to the final two if you had won that final HOH competition? Or was it just like you were always taking Monty?
From what I remember, we had a conversation on the kitchen island where she was kind of like, hey, I would really appreciate if you would take me to the end. And I was kind of like, I'll keep you posted. Like, that was all I said. I thought I was going to take Monty because, I mean, I had a final two with Pooch, and that didn't necessarily work out. And I had a final two with Kyle, and that did not necessarily work out. And Terrence wanted to have a final two with me. That didn't work out. And I was like, my gameplay is getting really messy right now. And so, as I'm sure you saw, it did. But then I don't know. I was like, I think I'm going to stay loyal to who has had my back all season. He could have evicted me the week before, and that in and of itself was very telling. And I was like, all right, well, he had the opportunity to evict me, and I will try to repay him with bringing him to the end if I am able to win, or if I'm able to get there.
It's interesting. I mean, and listen, it's tough to know. Everyone from the outside is an expert, right? But you're in the house, you only see one perspective, so we understand it. I wanted to ask you about something that I don't think made the show, but it was during the live eviction. It was during the week when Michael went home. You had a conversation with Michael going into that week, talking about being a member of the LGBTQ plus community. And he brought it up during kind of the commercial break where he was calling you out for it. Like, can't believe you're doing that. How do you feel about that now? Are you and him going to have a conversation about it? Because I could tell just by watching the live episode that it was affecting you personally. It was definitely something that was wearing on you just in that moment. We could see it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you both know more than other people, but like when there are instances between a game move and a personal move, it is really hard to decide in the moment, especially of a double eviction, like what is the best route to take. It's like, what weighs heavier on my heart, on the game, on me getting more like further in the game. And it was like, all right, from my perspective right there, I openly told Michael, I don't want to be the person who sends home the only other LGBTQ member of this house, it being just us in this house together. And I really like Michael personally. And so when the opportunity arose, I was in the situation where I was like, damn it, I told him I didn't want to do this. And now Monty told me he's using the veto. And even when he said he was using it, I was like, oh my God, I'm Michael. Like I didn't even expect it. So I don't know if that aired or anything. But
it did.
Well then. Yeah. Then you guys know what I'm talking about. So
yes.
when he used it, I was like it was very tough because I was very sincere and I had tried getting Michael out weeks beforehand. And then fast forward, I come to this realization. I was like, wait, what am I actually trying to do to send Michael home? Felt very bad about it. And then I had the option to put up someone I was working really closely with or take this big game move. And I was like, I just have no idea what to do. I guess if I'm trying to add to a resume, I have to take Michael out or I am going to look like an awful player. But that came at the expense of this incredibly tough decision. I didn't want to make it, and it sucks that I had to, especially go back on that word that did mean a lot to me. But apparently it sounds like I was remorseful and I very much so was. And it weighed heavy on my heart for days, if not weeks after.
Yeah,
we could tell.
Yeah. It totally seemed that way on your end, Turner, to be 100% honest. And also, I know you said it to Julie when you walked out of the when you came and met her on stage that, you maybe wouldn't have done it, but it's like you were a question away. There were two questions that maybe, Monty had gotten wrong that if you had gotten them right, you might have been sitting in the final two anyway. So I wouldn't really have too many regrets. And I think, other than calling my last name California, I think you're a pretty awesome guy.
Was that in an episode or on the feeds?
It was in an interview. In an interview.
It was like we were like evaluating the house guests at the beginning. We're like, this guy doesn't even know our last names.
And I'm only messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you.
Of course.
I know how it is coming out of the house. It's like sensory overload. So.
Oh, well, I have a question for you guys. If you were to rate my gameplay on a scale of 1 to 10, let's hear it. I
actually got a response for you, and it's going to be kind of this last question I had for you. I thought you played a very good game. I thought your jury management was horrible. Yeah, and I almost felt like you were doing it intentionally. So I got to ask you, like literally, Alyssa, I always wanted people to feel good about me, even when I was sending them home. You saw Paul. He was a very deserving winner and lost. Did that weigh on you at all where you're like, dude, I'm playing a great game. I'm winning competitions, but I'm literally burning every bridge as I'm sending him out the door, especially with like Alyssa. What was the mindset behind that?
It was honestly just like, as far as I knew, Brittany was going to send her home. So no matter what, I have a final three with Taylor and with Monty. So I can either flip this and put people in my final three in a worse position. And I couldn't necessarily put all of my eggs in the basket of Alyssa, as much as I love her. And she's an amazing person and one of my best friends throughout the entire summer. She hadn't won any comp. So for her to keep me safe, that's like a lot of trust in one thing that I don't think was going to happen. I think she showed her cards in comps. And so I just couldn't. But simultaneously, Taylor said she was going to vote out Alyssa. So no matter what, I'm like, all right, Alyssa's going home. Then for the thing to flip, I didn't know that was going to happen. I would have wished Brittany would have told me. So then, but I think Brittany didn't tell me so that then she could pin it on me. I don't know if this was in an episode, but I had a lot of tears shed that same day after a Brittany and I conversation in the HOH room where I was just so conflicted. I was like, I sent my best friend home.
It was
okay. Yeah.
It was
so I sent like my best friend in the house home, and simultaneously I feel like I was manipulated into doing so. And now it's looking like it's flipped to then make me seem like I didn't do it. It was like a sensory overload, and it was probably my worst moment in the house other than the Michael thing. So it was very tough. And again, when America sees it all, like, I don't see all of that. I don't know what's going on. I thought I was making the best move, but I've been told in many interviews I was not. So now I know.
Dude, you did well. We were like, oh, we're not a huge fan of Michael at the beginning, but you grew on us, man. You were loved by America. Everyone has things they change in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're going to get hate. You're going to get love. Take the good with the bad. Welcome to, we got to wrap this up. They're giving us wrap it up. Now. But hey, welcome to the BB family. For everybody watching the stream, stay tuned. We're going to go off for a second.
Shout out to the Rug Shack.
Next interview.
Shout out to the Rug Shack.
Shout out to dude, that made my night. Shout out to the Rug Shack. You heard it from Cody and Derrick.
I'm right in Rhode Island, brother. I'm not too far from you. I'm sure we'll meet up.
Whoa, dude. I'm like, oh my God, I grew up right next to Providence. What
You're
the hell?
super close to me. We'll talk off the record. We'll talk. Brother, have a good night. Welcome to the family. Congratulations on a great season. Take care.
So this is a whole full circle moment, no pun intended. I have loved every minute of this. I love both of you. Thank you so much.
Love you too, buddy. Take care.
Peace out.